In my previous upload, I discussed two activities for self-discovery and self-refinement. Here's another of my favorite activities to really look into myself and get familiar with my inner landscape. This third activity has to do with using pain as a tool. Pain is to your body what emotions are to your soul. So if your toe is hurting, you will look at your toe to see what's going on. If your toe is hurting, you're not going to look at your neck. In a similar way, if you're feeling a negative emotion, we are going to use that as a signpost for what really is going on in your soul. This is a complex activity, but one simple way for you to use this on a day-to-day basis is to be aware when you're experiencing a negative emotion. First, don't judge it. Don't say, I shouldn't feel like this. Yes, you should feel like this because that is your emotion. It's your experience. Number two, understand that nothing is happening outside of you. Everything that you're experiencing is part of your inner landscape. For example, if you don't have a problem with people ignoring you, then you're not going to have the experience if somebody does ignore you. However, if you're totally peeved when a person ignores you, then you're going to experience that full range of emotions that comes with feeling ignored. It's all your experience. So don't judge it, but also don't blame. Sure, another person can hurt you. Sure, situations happen that are not pleasant, things you wish would not happen. But we have to refrain from blaming because the only way that anything can be triggered inside of you is for it to already exist. When people behave badly toward you, what comes out is exactly how it is in. Now, it may not be that way all the time, so you may beg to differ and say, no, I'm not an angry person. I was just angry because. I don't think you're an angry person. I don't think you're a totally joyful person either. I think we both have light and shadow aspects to ourselves. And the light is easy to handle, but when the shadow surfaces, we want to suppress it and ignore it, or we want to come in and preserve ourselves by saying, oh, I'm not that bad of a person, or it wasn't my fault, it was totally them, or yeah, I'm not an angel, but everything that comes after that but is blaming. You will refuse to judge your emotion. You will refuse to blame it on others. You will refuse to project it onto others. You may be feeling a bit envious or have felt envious in your past, and then you interpret somebody else's actions as being envious toward you. That may or may not be true, but if you believe it, you're projecting your emotion, whether it's felt in the present or has been felt in the past, onto another outer experience. Ask yourself a few questions. What just happened? What did I want to happen? What was I hoping to avoid? What can be different next time? You can also ask yourself, what am I afraid of? You may be hesitant to answer that question. A lot of people don't want to admit that they're afraid of anything. And usually when you're thinking of fear, you're thinking of some type of feeling that makes you want to run or avoid. Sometimes fear is simply an uncertainty. Maybe you feel uncertain about something and you don't like feeling uncertain. And so you fear being out of control. In other words, you don't want to be out of control. So you try to control the situation. What is it that I'm afraid of? What am I concerned about? What is my earliest memory of a time where I felt this way? A lot of times our triggers are programs in our brains that were inserted long ago and they're still active as if the situation is going on now. Sometimes those triggers need to be demolished and the mind needs to be renewed. So when you're looking at your pain, you're going inside and you're asking yourself some pivotal questions. And those questions have everything to do with you and nothing to do with the outer circumstance. You're going to come out with some revelatory information, an additional understanding for yourself. And here's the thing, when you begin to pour out all that is in, you're going to need lots of self-compassion. we're still not going to judge. Oh, that was the past. You should be over it. You should be over it by now. What's it going to take for you to get over that? You may go into judging yourself, but your heart will not feel safe if you judge it. So what you need to do is offer compassion. Oh, wow, that happened to you. And I'm sorry that happened. Oh, I wish things could have been different. Well, things are different now. This is your self talk. This is how you're talking to yourself. Notice I'm not judging, I'm not shaming or blaming myself for anything. I'm simply offering compassion. And if you can get to this part of the self discovery, then you've done a lot of work, because it's very hard to show compassion toward ourselves. And it's very hard to be patient with ourselves when we're not used to it. But I hope that you will take this process and make it your own. You can rewrite the story. You can say something like this: when I was a little girl, mom would ignore me when she didn't know how to manage my emotions. And so I learned that my emotions weren't important. I felt angry about that. And I still feel angry when people don't acknowledge my emotions. Mom wasn't able to teach you is how to manage your own emotions, which is your greatest need now. And so the act is almost like reparenting yourself. You show the compassion. You didn't know what to do when that person disregarded you. I get that. I'm even sorry that you're having this experience, but I'm also glad you're having it, self, because now we can rework this and work together. And so once you offer that compassion and you rework the mindset and the story, it might sound something like this. She ignored me. I don't know what was going on with her, but I didn't like it. That reminded me of a time in my past with my mom. But I'm an adult now, and I really don't need people to validate my emotions. It's nice when they do it, but I want to validate my own emotions and let myself know that how I feel is okay. It's okay to feel. It's okay to want things. It's okay to desire. It's okay to not want things. This is full of self-validation. This process is a very powerful process. It takes a lot of courage. And if you need any support through a process like this, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me. I'm Veronica Montgomery, also known as Coach Veronica Montgomery. You can email me at support@choosedominionlife.com. Support@choosedominionlife.com. You can also find me on Instagram. I just opened up a brand new account. My name is Veronica Marie.